Oh my goodness. Well, we are in for some beautiful weather the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Totally switching gears here. There's eventually this storm that does move in. We're going to talk much more about what we know about this storm since it is a few days away yet, and there's not even anything to track just yet on the radar. So until this actually starts to form, are we, not going to necessarily have the exact track of where this will go, but we definitely know we're in for impacts from this. And specific to the far northwestern counties and then near the shore points, we'll end up with some side effect impacts that come from this. So let's get out there. We'll start it off just with a view, in fact, of the shore. And no shock here. We've seen a lot of people up and down the boardwalk. It looks like it's pretty quiet right now. This is in Ocean City, Cape May County. So I'm sure that we're going to see plenty more people as the day goes on. But it being in the middle of a work week, perhaps there's not as much traffic out here on the boards, but there are a couple of folks out there and not a single cloud to be had out there. As we get to this point of the year in full sun like this, the sun angle is starting to climb high enough that it actually starts to feel warm when you're in that direct sunlight. So it's a nice start to the afternoon. The rest of the day is going to follow suit. I know my girls are at the park right now with dad, so they're hopefully getting pooped out there on the jungle gym. Well, looking at Storm Scan 3, it is totally clear east of the Mississippi, basically. We do have the beginnings of some stormy weather starting to form over parts of Oklahoma, parts of the Lone Star State as well. And eventually this is part of the energy that's going to be working its way towards us and then transferring the energy into a coastal area of low pressure. So how is the mechanism of the upper atmosphere really causing all of this? Well, the basic idea is this, that we're going to see an area of high pressure set up a blocking pattern. And what that means is that as this storm is just out to sea, it's going to have the opportunity to intensify. And as it does that, depending on where it finally ends up tracking, you end up potentially with some very drenching precipitation, and it's strengthening as it goes too. So we will eventually see this clear out in time for the weekend, but this is going to pose some pretty substantial impacts for us on the PM hours of Thursday through most of Friday. So the wild cards with this are the exact track, since nothing has actually blossomed just yet or formed, and also how intense does this become as it's moving offshore. In the meantime, also, not only the amount of precipitation, but the actual kind of precipitation is something that is still a bit of a question mark. Now, I think it's primarily a rain event. But if you go into the farther north and western suburbs, especially, so Lehigh Valley, Poconos, Berks, Lancaster counties, that's your best chance to maybe see some snow out of this as the colder air gets wrapped into the backside of the storm system. For Philly, this is very likely strictly just a raw, chilly, rainy system. And again, it's Thursday PM through Friday. But let's just talk winter in general. We haven't had a lot of snow. We have seen 18 days throughout the span of the winter of at least a trace of snow, and that has led to over a foot worth of total snowfall so far. But recall, we're all still young enough to remember, or old enough, I guess, depending how you look at it, that 09-2010 season where we ended up with the snowiest winter ever since records began and almost 80 inches of snowfall. We are so far from that. There's no hope of actually achieving that, especially with such a warm month of February that we've seen. Now, the other thing you've got working against you is that typically your average highs are starting to climb pretty nicely. You usually gain about 10 degrees over the span of any given month, or lose 10 degrees depending on the time of year. By the end of March, we're averaging near 60. So it really is getting to the point of the year where it's starting to feel warmer and warmer. Today is following suit with temperatures currently in the low and mid 50s, and we're only going to climb from here a few additional degrees. I expect the high to hit about 58 in the city. It's clear, it's calm tonight as we drop down to 37. That sun goes down before 6 p.m. But regardless, we're going to enjoy it the rest of the afternoon. Looking ahead to Thursday PM and Friday, though, pack your patience and the umbrella. You'll need it for what promises to be some, unfortunately, very miserable weather to start the new month, but today is nice.
So enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Katie.